Hello, everybody. Welcome to SPTV. So good to see all of you today. I hope you're having a wonderful day or a wonderful evening, depending on where you are in the world. It's lunchtime where I am, but I know it's nighttime for many of you over there in the UK. So I hope you've had a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm so excited here to be with you talking about love today and giving some messages from Spirit for our guests here today. If you could all please remember to like, comment, share, and tag so SPTV can keep growing and we can keep sharing all these beautiful messages for everybody who's coming onto the show. We would so appreciate it. And I'm so happy again to see all of you here today. Want to say hi to Serena. She's in here today. And I saw Fran. And there's Elizabeth from Dublin, Ireland. Good to see you, Elizabeth. Thanks for coming. We've got so many beautiful friends here today. Bumblebee Snuggles, hello. I love that name. That's awesome. Okay, who else do we have here today? Oh my gosh. Oh, good seeing you too, Elizabeth. Thanks for coming here today. It's great. This is your first time. I hope you have a great time today. That's so beautiful. So, as everyone's coming in, hey, Terry, as everyone's coming in here today for the show, my name is Jennifer Rose. There's Fran over at Holistic Harmonies. Good to see you. And I'm so excited to be hosting the show. This is our second episode. We started it 2 weeks ago. And it's really, really fun for me because I'm all about love. I kind of eat, sleep, breathe love. And so this was like the perfect job for me. When Richard asked me to do it, I was like, I'm your girl. Hello, Wendy from Scotland. Great to see you. Hi, Jackie. Great to see you. Love the hearts. There's Miss Trudy. Hey, Trudy. Good to see you. Um, and if you're interested in me, I am a medium and a healer, spiritual teacher, and public speaker. I do all kinds of fun things. I'm an ordained minister as well. You can find me over, hi, Xian. You can find me over at mediumjenniferrose.com, and on Facebook, I'm at Medium Jennifer Rose, and Instagram, Jennifer Rose Medium. I also want to tell you that I am not a licensed therapist, so this is not a substitute for professional counseling, but I will be using my connection with Spirit to see what Spirit can do to help us understand love better and see if it can answer some of our questions. So there's Debbie. Hi, Debbie's in the house. Great to see you. Hello, Kim. Great to see you too. Everyone's coming on. Hi, Joanne. Great to see you. Oh my gosh. Look at all of our beautiful friends. Now you may hear, I have a dog here in the room with me. You may hear her snoring in the background. Just embrace the love. Hi, Karen. Great to see you too. She has a fun time sleeping when she feels the beautiful spirit energy coming into the room. Anyways, oh, we got 53 Abani. Hello, great to see you. Oh my goodness, so many beautiful friends. So again, we'll be getting started soon, but just as a reminder, I am not a licensed therapist, but I will be using my connection with Spirit to see how they can help us here today. So we'll see what kind of love and magic they want to bring for all of us today. And so just start thinking about that, your questions that you're going to be wanting to ask me, and start writing them into the comments of what you'd like to know about or what you might like help with. And then we will be finding you from there and seeing how we can help. I'm not doing like predictions in this type of setting. And if your questions are not related to love and matters of the heart, this isn't the right venue for that, but you can go on another show for that. So just wanted to get that out of the way first, because we are really like focused on love. And so as we're all getting settled here, hello, Paul, nice to see you from the UK. And there's Cindy. Let's say a couple more hellos, and then we'll go ahead and see what Spirit would like to share with us. I would love to see if they can give us just a little message before we get to questions, and then we'll close out with a closing message as well. And okay, Elizabeth's here. Okay, beautiful. Yes, please remember to tag, share, like, comment. Hello, Danielle. Great to see you. I'm feeling all of your love and energy, so I'm so happy that you're all here today. Thank you for choosing the show, this time with me to spend, because I know that we're all very busy people, so I'm really happy that you made this decision to come, and I hope that you'll get something out of it. And just know that if you don't get a message today, there's going to be something in somebody else's message that's also meant for you. That is the beautiful intelligence of Spirit, that they work very, very hard to make sure everybody hears something that will be helpful to them. So I hope that you just remember that, and then we will go from there. Okay, so I see all the questions are starting to come in, so we'll get to them in just a minute. But what I do hear Spirit wanting to share with me is to just start out with a very short little heart centering meditation that we can all take part in together, just to kind of get us all connected in that like loving vibration. And thank you, Debbie. And so we're going to go ahead and do that for just a couple of minutes. So, hi, RG, great to see you. And so, what I'm going to ask you all to do is just invite you just to kind of put your hand on your heart. And I'm going to just ask you to just start breathing into your heart space. So, just very gentle breathing. And you can close your eyes if you'd like to, or you can just keep them open. But what you're going to be doing is creating what's called a heart resonance. So, it's kind of like the heart mind kind of coming in together into a nice balance. And this will help us to just kind of feel nice and calm and safe in our space. Some of you may have heard of the Heart Math Institute, which is located in California, and they've done a lot of work on getting the heart and the mind to resonate together. And they've done a lot of beautiful experiments with that. But one of the just simple things that we can do is just kind of breathe into our heart space, and it will help us to develop that beautiful connection with the mind, with the heart, working together in unison, instead of like what I want to say is working separately where one's kind of taking over of the other, and we've got one running the bus and the other one kind of like lagging behind. We kind of want them to work together. So I just want to invite you just to kind of take a moment just to breathe into your heart space. And we'll just say, a few little affirmations with Spirit, because I do feel Spirit kind of wanting to come in and just say, welcome to everybody. We're so happy that you're here. And we want to remind you all that everybody is love, and everybody is worthy of love, and everybody is capable of loving and being loved. I know this is very important, that we all deserve to feel safe. We all deserve to feel connected, and we all can make that happen with each other. Love has many, many faces, and we're all here on this exploration, this journey of life and love, discovering many of the faces that it has. And this can happen in so many different ways, through our friendships, through our romantic partnerships, through our families. And we're all on this discovery process. And the more we learn to know ourselves through this process, the more we have to give for other people, and the more we can receive from other people. So I'm going to just leave us with that and thank Spirit for just that little message. Hello, Wendy. Hello, Lorraine. And with that, let's go ahead. Hi, Arlene. Great to see you. Let's go ahead and start looking at the questions that we have and see how Spirit can help us here today. So let me just kind of see how starts to come through. Okay. Okay. I'm just looking through here. Okay. Okay. So, question from Holistic Harmonies. Hello, Fran. Does the universe or spirit ever block someone from having a love relationship? I've been hoping for decades. Oh my, that's a big question, Fran. I don't know if block is the right word to use. I would like to, I mean, I know it's a word we use in spiritual land a lot, but how about we just soften that and just say, does the spirit perhaps um, play a role in our love relationships? So there's a little bit of a question of, how much we have control over and how much is our destiny as well. And so there's quite a matter of opinion when we go into that type of question, but that is an important thing to ask, is that we are on a journey, and we are in a journey in the arms and holding hands with the higher self. So there is a plan for us too. And so it's important to remember is that there is a plan, and that if we were to say get off the path a little bit, Spirit would nudge us back onto it. So there is a plan, and so we aren't in complete control of everything that happens in our lives. I know we'd like to think we are, but we usually get reminded of that when big events happen to us, and we realize, okay, the Spirit is quite connected with our lives and with our journeys, and we're in this partnership together. Now, would they block you from having a love relationship? Well, that kind of depends on sort of like what your soul journey is, what your higher self is wanting for you to experience together. Remember, you are your higher self, but you're the one having the experience. Whereas the higher self of you is the one that kind of knows the plan and is like, this is where we're going and this is how it's going to turn out. But you don't, the personality doesn't get to know everything about how it's going to turn out and what's going to happen. The good part is whatever is the plan is meant for our highest and best good, even if we may not agree with it, but there is a purpose and a meaning to everything. And so this is where faith and trust comes in. Faith and trust in ourselves, faith and trust in spirit, to know that whatever is happening for us. And we usually remember that kind of when we get down the road and we start looking back and we start to see how all the dots connected. And it during the moment or during that process, we might have thought, oh my gosh, this is all wrong, this is not right. And then later on you look back and you're like, okay, I get it now, it got me to where I am here, this is what I've learned from it, this is how I've grown from it, and I can kind of come into acceptance and gratitude for it now. Now if you have other things that you're working on in your life, maybe it has to do with your spiritual mission. Maybe it has to do with your own self, of knowing yourself and learning self love. Maybe it has to do with other parts of your life, family, work related, those kinds of things. If that is what, the higher self of you is really wanting to focus on, then yes, maybe they're going to not, what I'm going to say is, not let the energy go in that direction. So I wouldn't call it blocking as much as I'd say guiding you to where you're supposed to be. So let's use the word guide. It's a little softer, gentler version of that and say that's kind of what's meant to be. But I can definitely feel you that you've been wanting to have that love relationship and you've been hoping for it to show up in your life. So, and especially when you say decades, I know that's a long time to wait. So I get that. I get that that's very difficult. So, what I'm going to recommend to you and just suggest to you is just keep don't give up the faith and keep kind of saying those prayers to spirit and to your own higher self, saying this is really really what I want, this is really what I need, and just keep putting it out there to see if we can create more of that abundance in the romance department for you. But chances are, if it's something that you're really wanting, it's also something that spirit, your higher self, is also wanting for you too. It's just a matter of the right timing, the right person, the right timing. So maybe they just don't want to say, spend time with somebody that's not part of your mission or part of your purpose in this life, that would be a distraction for you. And there's other things that are important for you to be working on right now. But just keep putting that out there. Don't give up. Don't lose the faith. And then just keep trusting that there is somebody for you, that there is love for you too. And just, keep the faith and keep positive with that. So I hope that's helpful for you. So let's not use the word block. Let's just use the word guide you into where you're supposed to be. And I know that's not always what we want to hear. It's not always what I want to hear. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the way it is, but it is a better way of looking at it. So I hope that's helpful for you, Fran. And if you have any further questions on that, just let me know and you can elaborate. So let's go ahead and move on and see who's going to be next. Okay, keep looking through here. Okay. Okay, Terry, let me answer your question if I could come back to you. Terry, oh, sorry, Terry Napier. I apologize if I don't pronounce somebody's name correctly. I know from different countries we can have different pronunciations. So just in advance, if I don't say it correctly, please forgive me. Can Spirit send a message to someone who has fallen in love with their spouse? So I'm not quite sure if I'm understanding your question quite correctly. So, what I think you're asking me is, can Spirit send a message to somebody else who is in love with who you are married to? I think that's what you're asking me too. Um, in other words, is what sounds like what you're asking is, will Spirit intervene to keep your union safe. So if you could just kind of put something in the chat box to just let me know. Okay. All right. You can ask, but that really is up to spirit. That's not something that's in our control as the personalities. But you can certainly ask spirit. What I'm going to offer and suggest to you is instead of maybe putting the focus on the third party, to put the focus on yourself and your spouse in your union, to keep working on the strength of your partnership, keeping that strong and working with that, not in a like desperate, fearful way, but just in that power of love kind of way, of keeping the focus on the two of you, and see if you can kind of shift the energy. So are there things that the two of you can do to keep things stronger? Maybe it's like go on a date or take a trip together or do some kind of other fun activity together that will just like keep the energy between you two stronger. That's what I'm going to suggest to you. You can certainly say your prayer, to spirit in a loving way. Can you please help this person maybe find a better connection for them that's not attached to somebody else? But it will be up to spirit to do what they deem to be the right thing to do. Sometimes these are learning lessons for us, so we don't understand why these things are happening, but they're coming to teach us all something. Okay, I'm misunderstanding you. No, my boyfriend lost his wife. Can she send a message? Okay, sorry, I misunderstood your question. Okay, but I'm going to still leave that answer out there because it's going to benefit somebody who's in that situation. Okay, so you're dating somebody who has lost his wife. Can she send a message to him? Certainly she can, because she is connected to him. So certainly she can try to communicate with him. She could do that through a medium, but she could also do that through what we call signs from spirit. So maybe that is she communicates to him through music or through numbers or through feathers or through coins, things like that. So there's certainly nothing wrong with that happening. And it's lovely that he's found you and that you're supportive of that as well. But I'm not sure what message you're wanting for her to send to him, but you're saying it feels like divine intervention. So are you saying, Terry, that it feels like divine intervention for that the two of you came together, or that she's trying to communicate? Just to clarify, because I do want to make sure I answer your question in a way that's appropriate for you. But I do want to say that yes, she absolutely from the spirit world can communicate with your boyfriend. But we don't always feel it. Okay, so let me see. You lost your fiance last August and we feel they planned it. Okay, so both you and your boyfriend lost somebody. So he lost his wife, you lost your fiance, and you feel that they brought you two together. That's what you're saying? Okay. And so it sounds like what you're looking for is some validation from spirit that did they bring you together, or are you looking for to know if they can communicate directly with the two of you? So it will help from when we ask our questions to just be as detailed as possible, because I do want to make sure that I'm very helpful for all of you too. So just let me know, Terry, do I have that correct? Okay. I am going to tune into spirit just to see what they can share with me regarding these two spirits that are loved ones that are in spirit too. So as I am looking into that, okay, yes, for you to come together. Okay. So as I'm looking into that for you, I do feel what I want to say is celebration around the two of you. I feel a lot of love around the two of you. And I do feel, okay. And I do feel like, you were definitely meant to meet each other, and understand if you weren't, you wouldn't have. So the fact that the two of you are together already means that the two of you were meant to come together. Okay. Now, your question specifically is, did they help orchestrate it? I'm going to give you a yes on that one, because they can see the affinity between the two of you, and you two are able to share in the understanding of going through grief of a loved one too, and to have that similar compassion with each other. And so I do feel that they are what I'm going to say is giving their blessings for the two of you. So that's what I'm hearing of you. I see a lot of cups as if I were reading the cards right now. I see a lot of cups for you. And so I know that this is to be blessings for you, that they give that your blessings for you. And they just want you to know that you can love them still, but you also have room in your hearts to keep loving somebody else. So it's beautiful that you two have found each other, and that, you know, if you were here on the last episode, we talked about love being limitless, that you can have more than one true love. We talked about that last time. And so again, love is limitless. So you can still love your, he can still love your boyfriend, can still love his wife in spirit. You can still love your fiance in spirit, and you two can also still love each other. There's plenty of room in the heart for that. There is no limit to how much we can love. So that's a beautiful thing. And so I definitely wish you both like the best of luck with each other in finding this time and going on this journey together, because I do feel like both of them from spirit are just showing me just a beautiful, lovely path. And so just continue on that path, and just remember to just keep appreciating and cherishing each other, because that's what I'm feeling them say right now, is to keep that continual appreciation and cherishing each other, like that you found each other and really seeing the light in each other's heart. I do know also that you both kind of share in the grief together. So this brings sometimes emotions coming up for the two of you, and you're both sort of trying to navigate that and support that. You could just let me know if this is making sense for you, Terry. You're very welcome. And I can see you're both trying to like navigate and support each other through this. And and that's a beautiful thing. And just know it's okay, like if you need a little help with that too, and then like seeing a grief counselor or something like that, it's okay to get like extra help if you need that. I'm not saying that you do. I'm just offering that to you as an option, because being that you both are dealing with grief, that is a difficult process to go through. So it's so wonderful you have each other, but it is also okay to get some extra support as well. So I just want to offer that to you and put that out there for you, because if you feel like that might be helpful to you, you know, go for it, explore that, because it only helps you to learn more about each other and more about yourselves as well. So yes, I'm so happy that you're grateful. Just remember, just keep appreciating and cherishing, because every moment that we have together with somebody we love, you connect so well and understand each other. Yeah, that's so beautiful. I'm so happy for you, Terry. And every moment, every day that we have with somebody we love is a gift, and both of you understand that. So I'm so happy that you brought your question in, because let this remind us. I actually kind of have a little quote to share at the end here that kind of connects with just what you're saying, is let that remind us that, tomorrow isn't promised, and we don't know how long we have with the people that we love. So as much as we can like make the most out of each day, that is such a beautiful thing. If we can all try to do that, it takes a little bit of practice, because we can get kind of so into our routines and so into our own stuff with lives. But the more we keep trying to make a practice of being grateful for every day that we have, for every breath and heartbeat that we have to live, and then for each other, for every day that we have with each other, make the most of it, and create that beautiful reality and that beautiful eternal love for yourselves and each other. So beautiful. I'm so happy you came. Thank you, Terry. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's keep going and see who's on next. This is just turning out to be so beautiful today. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna look here. So Komoto, I'm so sorry, Hillary Rams. I'm so sorry I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. But I would like to answer your question. Is it possible that a person is not made to be in a romantic relationship no matter how they wish to be in one? So that's a big question that's very similar to what Fran was asking earlier. If, spirit can kind of get in the way of us. I'm going to say it's possible, but I don't want to say that as what I want to say is definitive. So it really depends on kind of what your soul journey is, what your mission is with your higher self. But I don't want anyone to ever lose faith in love and in obtaining love too. So when we ask that kind of question, it's like, yes, I'm going to say it is possible, because there are likely to be souls out there who make go through most of their life, however short or long that is, and perhaps don't get into that kind of relationship or don't have that. But when I'm hearing no matter how they wish to be in one, when there's that kind of wishing, um, that tells me that I'm not sure if that person's not made to be in a relationship if they're wishing it to be that much. So it's kind of a question that I can't answer in this very black and white kind of way. So I'm going to say it's possible, but I'm going to say it's not likely that that's going to be everybody's journey or even a lot of people's journey. I'm going to say rarely. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I've got spirit showing me is that they're saying rarely, but yes, it is possible. So that's what they're giving me with that. And what they're also wanting to add is that because we learn so much through our relationships, even if, whether we have one or whether we have 20 of them, we learn so much through our romantic connections with each other, but also with our family relationships, also with our friendships as well, also with work relationships. So, all these different connections, we learn about each other. It's a know thyself journey. We learn more about us. So, all of these connections that we make are important. So, romantic connections aren't the only kind, but they are a big one. I mean, isn't like 99.9% of the music out there all about love? So we know like that's like that's like one of the dominant forces in life that keeps working through us. But I will offer to you is if this is something you're wanting for yourself or for somebody else that hasn't gotten to have that experience, just keep the faith, just keep putting it out there. Maybe write down what you're looking for and kind of put that energy in motion for you. But understand that if it's not happening for you now, I can feel spirit holding your hand. Understand if it's not happening for you now, it's not meant to be for you now. And if it did happen, then it might be something, an experience that wouldn't be fulfilling for you. So it's better to wait for something that's going to be fulfilling than to spend time and energy on relationships that aren't fulfilling when there's other things that you could be doing with this lifetime that are fulfilling for you with your soul journey. So I hope that's helpful to you. And I just want to thank you for being here today as well. Okay, thank you so much. Much love to you. And let's see who else we can help next. So we're just going to keep looking. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to keep looking here, see whom I'm drawn to. Okay. Okay. Okay, Anna May, could you be a little bit more specific? Loved ones can help people cross paths. So I think what you're asking me, Anna May, is very similar to what we were talking about earlier. Can our loved ones who have crossed over in spirit help people here to meet each other? I think that's what you're asking me. So I'm going to go with that unless you correct me on that. So I'm going to say absolutely yes, they can, as long as it's also what I'm going to say is the higher self also wants for you. So there is, certain points in life of things that are meant to happen, but absolutely could the loved ones come in and help take part in that journey to help make it happen and kind of play a role in that? Absolutely, they can and would enjoy doing that, would enjoy being part of that because they want us to be happy. So even if like we've lost a spouse or partner, over into spirit, they want us to be happy while we're here. They want us to find love. They want us to be happy, to have peace, and to have joy. So for sure, they can absolutely help with that. My only caveat is if the higher self of us, just one moment, puppy needs to go out. There we go. Is if the higher self has another plan. Oh, you were just stating, darling. Okay, well, I'm just going to elaborate on that. You are absolutely correct. So if the higher self wants to has a different plan for us, then they might have to say, okay, loved ones, yeah, thank you for all your enthusiasm. Let's wait just a little longer. We're working on this right now. And then, loved ones would be kind of like, okay, so they'd have to kind of just wait patiently for that. So that's what I'm going to say with that. So thanks, Anna May. Absolutely can help us cross paths. Okay, so let's just keep going and see where we're going to go next. Okay. I'm just going to keep going through here. Hey, Minty Meg, good to see you. We are well, thank you. Great to see you. Hope you're having a great time. Hi, Kaylee. Good to see you. Let's just see, we're going next. Okay, Bumblebee Snuggles. Will my ex-partner ever be able to accept that I split up with him over 4 years ago? That's up to him. Unfortunately, I wish I could give you a definite answer on that, but that's a journey for him that he's having to go on, okay? So acceptance is a difficult thing to have to embrace. So let's just talk about acceptance, because acceptance has to do with letting go, and letting go is not always an easy thing to do. Now, I want to say here that give me just a moment to let kind of spirit work with me on this one a little bit here to do, okay? That I'm going to give you a little bit of a different answer on this too, because I know that some people are going to approach this answer kind of in a more sort of energetic kind of way, as if we need to sort of like, you know, like cut energy off and things like that. That's not kind of the line of sort of how I am shown things from spirit, because we all have different perspectives. But when we talk about like letting go and we talk about acceptance, that is a journey in itself that usually requires a decent amount of self inquiry and self work within the self. So if your partner is not doing that work within, it may take a while to come into acceptance. And I know that may be difficult for you. All you can do is set up clear boundaries for yourself. And sometimes those boundaries have to be a little on the stronger side in order to help you to move on with your experience, if that makes sense. Okay. So that's all that you can do. You can't control what the other person is doing. All you can control is your own space and your own reality. So you may have to set up some clear, definitive boundaries for yourself to keep moving forward. And understand that when we do start to set boundaries, that other people react to that and they may not like it and they may fight against it. And I know it's been 4 years, so you probably know what I'm talking about. I'm guessing you know exactly what I'm talking about. And and this is why sometimes people come in and out of our lives, because as we change and we make decisions of what's right for us and what we need, then other people either have to kind of adapt and come with a program, or they they can resist and they can move in their own direction, and that's up to them. But this is how we learn on our soul journeys as well too. So what spirit is just sharing me just for you is really saying to you, like, focus on yourself, your journey. That's a little bit more important. I know it can be frustrating if you're getting, what I'm going to say is, unwanted attention that you don't want anymore, and you're just like, when you're wanting this person to be happy and you're wanting to move on and you're wanting to kind of separate in your own little spaces here. So I get that that's very difficult. But if your ex-partner is not doing their own work, that's where it's going to just take a while. It's going to take as long as it takes. So all you can do is focus on yourself, your space, your journey. Keep doing you. I do really feel like that's what you've been trying to do. I kind of feel momentum with that for you too. So I hope that's helpful, but that's what I'm kind of getting for you, that I feel like is the most important thing. And because I can feel the wheels turning of like, how much longer? Why can't they just let go? Why can't? And I understand that that's really frustrating, but they're in their own reality. You're in your own reality. We're all kind of channeling different realities based upon our experience and based upon what the higher self wants us to be working on. And so unfortunately, you can't control somebody else's reality. All you can do is control yours. So yes, I understand that you have. So just keep doing you. Keep doing you. What I'm also going to suggest to you, one thing too, is just you can send out a loving prayer as well. Just one second, Mr. Bumblebee Snuggles. You can send out a loving prayer as well for your ex-partner, and to wish wish happiness for that person, wish happiness and independence for that person. So kind of put that love out there, and that, so instead of saying, spirit, please help me get rid of this person, which I'm not saying that you're doing that, I'm just kind of putting it in a simple terms. Say, spirit, please, I want this person to be happy on their journey. Please assist that, so that we can all have happiness and peace. So send the prayer for peace, prayer for happiness, prayer for independence, and kind of like we can shift the energy into softer direction. So I hope that's helpful for you. But that's what I'm getting for you. And I just want to thank you also for being here and for your question. And let's go ahead and move on and see who else we've got here today. Okay. Oh, Natalie. Okay, let's talk to Natalie. Oh gosh. I'm going to ask you, sweetie, to be just a little bit more specific if you can. Have I wasted 10 years waiting for the wrong guy? So I'm just going to ask you to be a little bit more specific so just I can kind of feel into your situation a little bit better. But I don't think personally like any time is wasted, because whatever we go through in life, like there's no way that we can go, Natalie, 10 years without learning something and without growing. So I'd like to soften that word wasted. So we've put energy for 10 years hoping for a guy to come, and you're wanting the right guy to come. But have we all noticed that sometimes we go through a lot of different relationships and we figure out more about what we don't want to get to what we do want because we change over time? Natalie, would you also say you're not the same person you were 10 years ago? Like, that's what I feel. You're not the same. You have grown so much more. So there is no time wasted. So, this is what I'm feeling, like spirit coming in. I can feel them just kind of like this kind of like rush of power and spirit coming in for you to just kind of ask you to ask that question of yourself. Are you the same that you were 10 years ago? No, like you've grown so much. You're still you, but you have grown so much. You have evolved so much. You have learned so much. You're on this beautiful path, right? And the right person happens at the right time for you. So, um, and I know this might not be exactly what you're wanting to hear, but it's what's best to hear right now in this moment. And it's like, as I'm feeling into you, I feel like, okay. Um, So I'm just gonna keep, Natalie, are you still here, darling? Just let me know, but I still wanna answer your question. I'm sorry, Richard? Okay, great. Okay, so Natalie's still here. Um, okay, so many sign and it's picked up again 2 years ago. I agree, yes. Okay. So yeah, those signs are good, and just keep following the signs, keep having the faith. Um, but also understand that we do have, what I'm going to say is, life can throw us some curveballs sometimes, and those are all for our learning process. So I know we want so much for everything to be easy and kind of follow in this linear process and just have this like beautiful flow all of the time. But because our higher self spirit is wanting us to get as much learning and growing and understanding, that sometimes they can throw some doubt, some confusion, some little curveballs in the mix. That's okay. Just stay the course, follow your own intuition. I can feel your heart is really, really strong, and I can feel your intuition in here is really strong. And so it's something that you can trust. I really feel like you have a beautiful relationship with a higher self of you, this other part of Natalie that comes in and says, like, we're going in this direction. And just know there are no mistakes for you in life. You can't get it wrong because you have that guidance. So even if something doesn't work out exactly the way you want it to, or exactly the way you were expecting it to, nothing has gone wrong. It's all done for you, through you, with you. And so that's really important. So keep following all those beautiful signs that are showing up for you too. And but know that a couple things are showing me is that on the human side of life, no one is going to be perfect. So we may have this kind of perfect package or ideal of what we want in a partner to be for us, but they might not be able to be all of that at one time. So just remember that we have to kind of learn to have some unconditional love and acceptance, not to the point where, we're hurting ourselves or not getting our needs met and all of those kinds of things, like or accepting abusive behavior or anything like that, but just know that if somebody's trying their best, like that's good. If somebody's trying their best, even if it's not exactly the way you would want it to look, that's a good thing. You're a medium yourself and you just don't know. Yeah, I know we don't, it's hard to trust when we're in our own process and in our own life experience to trust because we're in the story of it too. So I get that. It's the same way for me too. So that's a good message for everybody here, is that just because somebody is a psychic or medium doesn't mean they have all the answers for their own self. We always have to do that soul searching for us. We have to live our lives and go through our own life experiences, and spirit does not always give us the answers that we want. We wish they did. We wish we had that, like, that little extra. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't, but as we're still personalities here too, and we have to live our lives and go through our experiences and learn from them as well. So, even for me, like, who really understands kind of consciousness and things like that, it's like when I have to go through my story in my life, it's just the same way. And it's like all of those tools that I have are only so helpful because I meant to live it. So same with you, Natalie. So beautiful. And I really feel like you've got this. You've really got this. I just feel really good intuition for yourself. So just know you really can't get it wrong, because I really feel how connected you are. You can't get it wrong. So just keep staying the course and moving forward. So thank you for your question. That was really good. I really appreciate that. You guys are asking great questions today, because it really helps us to, like, see things from bigger and better perspectives. If only you got this, girl. I know. I wish too. I wish they give me all the answers. It would make life so easy, but yeah, it doesn't always work out. Oh my gosh. Okay. You're too cute. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going, moving forward too. Oh gosh. Okay. Okay. I'm just looking here, reading through all of our comments. Okay. Okay. Okay, so 53 Abani, I'd like to come back to you. Can you say a few words about how one might effectively bless past loves from this life? What a beautiful question that is. So, we've had relationships and we've moved on and we're no longer in those relationships, but we want to have a loving closure. That's what it feels like that you're looking for. How can we find a loving closure to kind of say thank you, say thank you for what you've taught me, and I wish you the best of happiness. So let's work with that. So we've got past loves, but we're moving forward in our journey, and they're moving forward in their journey, but you're hoping to have some closure that will help you to move forward in the most loving and effective way. It's such a beautiful question. So what I'm going to offer you is, I'm just going to ask Spirit to come a little closer, is first we say thank you. Thank you for this time you've spent with me. Thank you for the connection that we've shared. Thank you for the love. Thank you even for the arguments, because we've learned so much about ourselves through each other. And thank you for the love that we've shared. Right. And now that this relationship is complete and you've moved on, it's like, I wish you love. I wish you happiness. I wish you a beautiful life. I wish you all things good and sweet, and I wish that for myself too. Exactly. Gratitude. That's so perfect. The more we can stay in that frame, like, really the happier we can be. And I know it kind of takes work because we have feelings that come up, and we have to kind of learn to hold space for our feelings. And those feelings may have hurt, they may have anger and resentment, but gratitude, forgiveness, love, and acceptance are very, very helpful to help us move through those feelings. And you wouldn't be the same person you are now without those experiences. And all of these experiences bring us to more love. They bring us to more compassion and empathy, because if everything were perfect in our lives, then we wouldn't have as deep a compassion and empathy to give to each other. So we share in love, we share in joy, we also share in pain and darkness too. And when we experience those things, we have a much greater depth of compassion and empathy and love in a much different way for our fellow human beings than we did before. So there are gifts in the hard times and there are gifts in the hard relationships. The hard relationships can also, they teach us more about us. They teach us what we don't want and they teach us what we do want. So we can all continue evolving within ourselves and together. So those are just beautiful questions. So I just want to thank you for bringing that forward because I think if we could all practice that, I think that would help us to have more closure and also to create a better, more positive energy and momentum for ourselves and for each other. And that's going to help us on our journey. And I do feel like Spirit will bless us back for giving those blessings. They will bless us back for that. So it's win win all around. So thank you for that. So let's go ahead and keep moving forward. Okay. All right. Okay. Richard's telling me it's time for a very quick break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to answer more questions for you.
Nadija Bajami, a proficient strategic hypnotherapist, mind coach, grief educator, accomplished Reiki master, and gifted psychic medium, extends a warm invitation to join us on an exploration during a 4-week introductory mediumship course. As a special privilege, this extraordinary opportunity is being offered to our esteemed VIP members without any associated costs. Immerse yourself in the art of refining your innate talents and finding balance in communion with the realm of spirits. The course begins on Sunday, November 5th, at 7 p.m. via Zoom, and details will be placed in the VIP lounge. For more information on becoming a VIP, visit sptv.uk. Spiritual Psychics TV presents a wonderful evening of mediumship and trance. Our evening is hosted by Nick Brown with guests, Bill Hughes, Glenda Marie, David Hale and Minty May. Our exciting event is being held at the Littleport Village Hall, which is in Ely. The date for our magical showcase is Saturday the 9th of September. The price is only £10, which includes refreshments. For ticket information, please visit myspiritualevents.com.
Tomorrow night from 8 p.m., our popular show, Live with Spirit, offers the opportunity for different readers, each week to demonstrate their psychic and mediumship abilities.
And welcome back to SBTV. We're back. And I'm also being asked by Richard to remind you that Dave will not be on tomorrow, but we'll be back for the next show. So we're going to go ahead and keep moving forward. So I'm going to start with Mary Butcher, who's asked a question. And so we're just going to go back to her. You've been on your own for 6 years by your choice, and you don't want a relationship, but people say you need someone, but you don't want one. Is that normal? That's perfectly normal for you, because if you were supposed to move in that direction, you would probably feel inclined, and that you can't be surprised along the way. So I'm going to leave you with that. Whatever is right for you is right for you. Don't worry too much about what other people are saying, because you know yourself better than anybody else does. But if, a little surprise comes into your path when it's unexpected, that's okay too. So just what I'm going to say is just be open to whatever is like meant for you and whatever's best. So keep following, doing you with what you feel you want, and then just be open as well. So that's what I'm going to offer for you, Mary. So thank you so much. Good for you for knowing what you want. Okay, so let's keep going, moving forward. So I want to make sure I get to as many people as possible. Okay. Uh, it's okay, Richard. Okay. All right. Which is just kidding. All right, I'm just asking. Richard's just helping me scroll through the comments. Okay. Naomi, let's go ahead and look for you, see what spirit can share for you. You've been with your partner for 17 years. Wow, that's a long time. You feel like things aren't going to change. Am I wasting your time by staying it, or is it time to walk away? Okay, so I'm going to tune in with spirit and see what they have to say for you too. But I really am feeling what they're sharing with me is you kind of already know the answer to that question. Okay. So that's what they're saying. They're kind of coming in with, a little bit of wisdom here, and they're being kind of a little bit like steadfast and strong as they're saying that you already know the answer to that question. What I'm going to suggest to you that they're offering me to you is really start to, they're showing me like writing things down of like kind of like what you want, kind of like where you are, what you want, how things were before, and just kind of looking at the big picture. So that's what they're kind of showing me for you. It does feel like they're also showing me like communication. They're bringing me to the throat chakra here. This is very important. That's really time to start communicating. I do feel like you've tried, but it may take like a different approach, and it may take to where you have to really like be a little bit more upfront and open about your feelings too, because they're really stressing communication. I keep getting drawn to the throat for you that this is like really, really important. So that's what they're sharing for me. It does feel like there's some, as they're showing to me, there's some heartache and there's some heartbreak in there too, that feels like you've been wanting for things to change for a long time. I know you say you feel like things aren't going to change. You've been wanting them to change for a long time, and you keep hoping. I do feel drawn to there's a little bit of this kind of hope disappointment cycle. And if you could just message me back and let me know if this resonates. Like we've been hoping, we try, we get disappointed, and we kind of keep going through this cycle again too. So this is where it's important to really stop and kind of take a look, take stock. They're not going to tell you what to do. Spirit's not going to say you have to do this or you have to do that. But what they are sharing with me is we need to like really stop, pause, take a look. We need to really focus on, is there different ways that we can communicate about how things are and what we want? And then stop and look at the patterns that you've been going through too, because they're showing me like hope getting let down, but understand that we learn from each other through all this. And again, no partner is perfect. But they're showing me that you're already kind of in a momentum with your higher self of like knowing where you're going to be going in this journey. So I certainly wish you the very best in whatever choice you make with your partner. And I know that that's a difficult one, especially after 17 years. That's a really like difficult choice to make. But that's what they're sharing with me for you. Okay. So you haven't wasted any time. I know this came up earlier. You haven't wasted any time, because this is how we learn. This is how we grow. This is how we mature. This is how we evolve. So everything that's gotten you up to this point where you're stopping to ask this question and understand, you can be in the question mode for a while. That's what Spirit's showing me. You can be in this inquiry process for a little while of wondering what you're going to do. And that is because you and your higher self are kind of like working it out from different angles. So I can tell they're showing me that you're kind of working the story out. This could go in this direction, or if I do this, what am I going to do? What is my plan going to be? What does that look like? There's a little bit of fear they're showing me. There's a little bit of fear of being alone and having to start all over again. But understand you're never alone in that process and in that journey if you decide to go in that direction of moving forward out of the relationship. But again, it's going to be a decision that you have to make for yourself when the time is right. So that's what they're sharing for me. I know this to be really important, but I know you're very guided. I feel a lot of loved ones from the other side coming in and giving you a lot of support. I'm seeing them bring you a beautiful feather as a reminder of that angelic protection around you as well. So I know that's to be important. They're bringing the feather as a symbol. Don't be surprised if you see one coming up in the near future for you too. I'm also feeling that you are very in tune right now with synchronicities coming your way of helping to give you. So know if you're drawn to a specific sign on the road, a license plate, a song playing on the radio or on your phone, just kind of stop, take a listen, feel into it. I do feel like you have good intuition. You have a good solid sense of knowing within yourself. So I know it's to be very important as well. Again, they're bringing in the blue. So I know it's communication. You might want to consider maybe perhaps looking into some professional counseling, because they might be able to help you work this stuff out, learn some better forms of communication, different ways that you can talk to your partner as well, because everybody's communication style is different. We all kind of speak different languages. So just like as a medium, I have to learn to speak the language of the spirit, and they all speak a little bit differently to me. So, oh, my ear's ringing. See, there we go. They all speak a little differently to me. So it's a little bit of a different thing every time I connect with spirit for you. So it's the same way for you and for our, our fellow human counterparts here as well too, is that you have to kind of learn to speak each other's language too. So again, no time has been wasted. But you are definitely in this very, like, what I want to say is big part of your journey right now. You're in this big space of making a decision. And I know that that's a big one. And I know for myself, there's so many times where I've been like, just tell me what to do. And they don't. So they're not going to tell you what to do either, but that's where we're going with that. So I hope that's resonating with you. Let me, kind of let me know in the comments if that's kind of making sense for you. But I do feel like, again, they're bringing me a little bit of that ache here. That ache is just like trying, feeling like you've been kind of spinning your wheels and just kind of keep getting disappointed and letting down with that too. So I'm going to invite you also to work more on your own self-love process as well, because I do feel like your own spirit of you is saying, yes, we want to work more on this self-love process. What can you do for yourself right now so that you can feel more loved? And can we work on some affirmations for yourself, that I am worthy of love, I am lovable, I am good the way that I am, and I am worthy of receiving the love that I want to receive too. So I invite you to work on that as well. So I hope that's helpful for you, Naomi. Thank you so much for being here today. And I'm sending you a lot of love of my own and support, but know that Spirit's really supporting you. I feel a lot of power around this. So I'm really happy that you came today and asked your questions. It means a lot to me that you came. So I hope that we were able to help you with that in this little bit of time that we have. So I'm going to go ahead and keep moving forward and see who else that we can connect with. Okay. Thank you, Richard. Okay. Okay. Okay, Dorothy. Okay. I'm going to move back to Dorothy. Okay. First time in life, will I ever meet someone? You've been single for 15 years, or should I move away nearer to the family? Maybe more of a chance in a new place. Okay. So again, they're not going to tell you what to do, but I am going to feel into that and see how I can feel the energy of moving in through that too. And it does feel as I'm tuning into you, there's a lot of yellow around you, Dorothy. And so as I'm tuning into all of the yellow, it's like these beautiful bright sunflowers that are behind me right now that like come in for you, bringing you a lot of sunshine. And what also I feel into that is they're trying to bring you a lot of illumination right now. So I know this to be very important, is that Spirit is actively trying to sort of illuminate your path for you to help you kind of like know what to do and how to move forward. But it's really cool, Dorothy, because I can see, like, in a pretty short period of time, I can see you kind of like standing really tall and kind of like knowing where you're going with this too. Now, as far as like staying where you are or moving back to family, these are different paths and different probabilities that could happen. There's pros and cons to really each one. And so this is where you're going to want to kind of start to feel into both, because that's what they're telling me. There's pros and cons to staying. There's pros and cons to moving closer to family as well. What I do like about the moving closer to family is there's connection over there, and there's sources of love and support over there too. That's something that feels good for you as well. So I kind of like how that feels. There's a good energy flowing in that direction. But know that the timing has to be right for that for you too. But I do feel, again, I just see so much this beautiful path just lining up, and it's just turning bright yellow and sunshiny for you too. And it's like, you're just going to be standing there like, I know which way I'm going. So it's really beautiful for you, I have to say too. We've got a lot of people here that have been waiting a long time for love, and I know that's got to be so hard to do, but I really want to keep emphasizing the point that we have to keep faith, and keep strong. So again, but I do want to say to you, to give you some perspective and guidance, that moving in that direction of being close to family does feel good, but the timing has to be right and everything has to kind of line up. Now, if you decide to stay, there's pros to that too. So either way, you're going to be where you're supposed to be. So I know that's a little bit wobbly for you, but that's how they're showing it to me right now. Now, as I'm moving into you, Dorothy, this is also important. You're very much in a very spiritual awakening right now. There's a whole lot of purple coming in for you. So it's very much of a spiritual awakening right now for you. So what I want to invite to you too is to really spend some time sitting with spirit, if you can do that, sitting with spirit, um, putting some soft music on, going out in nature. Yeah, I understand. I'm so sorry. And I know that loneliness is like one of the hardest experiences to go through too. And I can tell you for sure you're not, because you've got spirit and you've got family, you've got friends, and you're so welcome, Dorothy. So that's why making that little connection closer to family will help you feel more supported and less lonely too. Sometimes that fresh start, that new energy can be really good. So I think there's a lot of positives to that too, than versus like standing still. Um, but also I want to come back to you, Dorothy, because I know that this is important, is that you do have all this beautiful like lavender, violet, purple light coming around you. So there's a lot of, this is really an important time for you, a spiritual awakening. And know that when that happens, sometimes your life can get rearranged for you a bit. Okay. So you might find like things are changing and moving around for you, and just kind of like, whoa, whoa, just kind of hang tight and go for the ride, and then just keep following your intuition. I keep getting drawn to my solar plexus for you, Dorothy. So I know this is to be important, is really kind of focus in, spend some time focusing in on the solar plexus and letting that kind of help to guide you. Your heart and your solar plexus, the mind and the heart working together to help move you forward in that direction. But it's really, there's a lot of beautiful things for you and coming your way, and it's just so beautiful. Also see white doves coming in for you too. They're bringing you in the spirit, they're bringing you the love, and they're bringing you a lot of peace of mind too, because it does feel like you've been looking for that. There's things have been kind of tumultuous, kind of like topsy-turvy, up and down, and they're wanting to bring you that peace and comfort. So what's so beautiful now is, with all this purple coming in, with the beautiful doves coming in, is that things are going to start to sort of fall into place, and you're really going to understand how it's all like fitting together. So it's really beautiful and exciting for you. I have to tell you this, Dorothy. This is really beautiful and exciting for you. And I hope that this is helpful for you right now, is just really keep like hanging on there. And but I'm going to say, do expect some change because of the colors that I'm seeing coming in for you and what spirits tell me. Do expect some change to be happening. And again, it's going to bring you to that place of comfort, calm, and peace. So you're very welcome, Dorothy. Much love to you. Thank you for coming. And let's go ahead and see who else. Oh, we're all done. Okay. So I'm going to leave you, before we go, I'm going to leave you with a little quote, and it's from this movie I saw. It's called City of Angels with Nicolas Cage. And I want to wrap this up, as we talked about earlier, about understanding the preciousness of life and the preciousness of love. And I understand this as a medium because I connect with our loved ones on the other side so frequently, and I understand how much we miss them, and I understand how much we appreciate them and want to keep their memory alive, and their legacy is so important. So I have an understanding of this. And I also want to say that Spirit's always in encouraging us to keep that for each other as well, here in this side of life, in the physical. So in this movie, City of Angels with Nicolas Cage, he's an angel. Nicolas Cage plays this angel, and he falls in love with Meg Ryan, who is here on the earth plane. And he finds out that he can fall so that he can be with her. So he decides to literally fall in love with her by becoming mortal or human. And so he does that, and then he has to go and find her, because now she's left where she is to, just to go on a short trip. And he has to go in and find her. He shows up at her doorstep. They have a beautiful, lovely time together, and then she gets in an accident shortly thereafter. And it's very sad because the time spent together is very short. But in the end, he meets one of his angel friends, comes to him and says to him, if you knew how this was going to turn out, would you have done it any different? Would you still made the same choice to actually fall and come be with her? Because he was in so much grief. And he even was saying, is God punishing me? And his angel friend is saying, no, of course, you know better than that. And so he asks him the question, would you do it differently? Would you have still made the same choice? And he says, this is what he says to him. He says, I would have rather had one breath of her hair, one kiss of her mouth, or one touch of her hand than an eternity without that one, just one. And I loved that little quote at the end. It was so beautiful. It's very romantic, of course, but it's such a reminder. Thank you, RG. You're awesome too. Love and blessings to you. It's such a reminder to just like cherish each other every day, you know, and be grateful for each other every day, for our family, for our friends, for our romantic relationships. It's like, try your best to remember to do that. And again, I know we all get really busy, but just take that time. Send a little text to somebody that you love. Somebody a compliment, even if it's a stranger. Those little acts of love and kindness, they really do multiply, and they make such a big impact for us as well. It's always win-win. Those blessings always come back to us. So just keep remembering. Just focus on the love, follow the direction in love, and everything will fall into place for you. Thank you, Melinda. So good to see you. I hope you all were helped today. I hope there was something in the messages that were helpful for you. Yeah, I know. I love that film too. It's great. I could watch it over and over again. It's just such a beautiful reminder. I just think they needed more women angels in there. It's the only thing I would do different. I would have added more female angels in there. So, but again, thank you all so much here today. I will be back in 2 weeks, so I hope to see you again, and we'll see what Spirit has to bring for us next time. So much love to all of you, giving you all my heart and all of the love from Spirit for all of you as well. So have a beautiful afternoon and a beautiful evening, everybody. Thanks so much. And thanks for coming on to SBTV. Bye-bye.